entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, launched by the Kauffman Foundation a little bit over 2 years ago. We will be in 40 cities within the next few weeks, probably in 60 or 70 before the end of the year. We're going to be international at some point, and the really cool thing is if you are presenting here, you're allowed to present at any 1 million cups around the country. So there's a mini passport program that allows you to now travel and go automatically to any event that you want to and present there. Several companies already done that. We have had companies from here go to other events. Alex, right, you went to St. Pete. Alex in the back right there is both helping us out and is an alum as a presenter. We've had other presenters come here from other places, so by all means, keep an eye on that. If you're interested, that will give you a great opportunity to go ahead and participate. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring Ben Moyer up. Hello, hello. So Ben is going to come up and talk about Rally Makers. It's going to be a roughly 6 minutes presentation. We're going to be a little looser today. Do me a favor, when we get to the Q&A, just wait for the mic so that way we can go ahead and have you recorded and heard as we're live streaming this as well. Thanks to our friend Rudy back there. Rudy, raise your hand. Rudy with Joycaster, thank you, Rudy. Okay, Ben, you ready?
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you got your coffee. Not a million cups for each of you. That's a million cups across the board. So don't overdrink on coffee. It'll hurt you. I'm glad to be here with you. My name is Ben. I'm the founder and work as the executive director for Downtown Credo. It's a nonprofit in town, and it's organized around a credo. I don't know if you have a credo, but our credo goes like this. I refuse to merely exist. I will pursue a life of meaning and purpose, joy and fulfillment. It says the world is not yet as it ought to be, and neither is my city, and neither am I. But I reject apathy and despair, believing I can make an impact for good. And it says that I am not alone, and so I press in through self-sufficiency and isolation and strive to live in authentic community. So it's a credo that's built around the three concepts of meaning, impact, and community. Sorry about the whiteboard. I have a phrase where I say analog is the new digital, and I get stuck on old methods, so we're going to work with the whiteboard. But it's this idea that says our credo is built around the concepts of meaning, impact, and community. And the reason we did that is because we're pretty convinced that our quality of life is more tied to who we're becoming than what we have. And that if we become people of meaning, impact, and community, then no matter how much stuff we have, we'll like our lives better. So the mission for Downtown Credo is to improve quality of lives by cultivating networks of meaning, impact, and community in the city. And the way that we do that is through three divisions. We have one that we call coffee. That's a coffee bean if you can't tell. But we have one that we call coffee, where it's a way to help people connect to a life of global impact. We go down to Guatemala once a year, we spend time with the growers, we pay them an average of 50% better than fair trade, and then run coffee shops where people can name their price so they can be a part of that system rather than just be a consumer, be a part of a development effort in countries. And then we have a division that's called conduit. That's a light bulb because it's an idea. There's a recognition that a life of meaning, impact, and community will take creativity. It doesn't happen by accident. And so we host free Skillshare workshops every other month, and songwriter stage where songwriters can play the music that they write. We make everyone be quiet and listen to them. The idea is a life of meaning will take creativity, and we want Credo to be the network that is moving people to do the things that they love. And then the last division is Rally. And Rally partners with 4 charities and tries to move people into sustaining, sustainable, meaningful impact in our city. And so Downtown Credo is about meaning, impact, and community through the 3 divisions of Coffee, Rally, and Conduit. And to this morning, really quickly, I just wanted to tell you about a new program that we're launching. And it's about trying to get people into a sustainable, meaningful impact in their city. What I found is that I was just talking with Shay about how Central Florida is becoming a hotbed for social enterprise. I define social enterprise as an organization that exists to solve a social, economic, or environmental problem and has an earned income stream in its business model. So it may be a nonprofit, it may be a benefit corporation. There are even some hybrid ways to incorporate where an organization can exist to solve a problem but have an earned income stream in its business model. And I think this is a great way to tackle real social, economic, environmental problems. And I think there are lots of great folks here at Rollins, at UCF, and even business entrepreneurs in the community who are coming up with great ideas on how we can tackle problems and generate income within those organizations. And what I want to do is support those organizations. And so what we're doing is we're organizing this project that we're calling Rally Makers. Which says that the best problems are real, or the hardest problems are real, and they'll take a combined group effort, the best of us, to help solve these problems. And what Credo wants to do is plant a flag in the ground that says, right here we can all gather and work together to solve the real problems that are pressing against us in all sorts and new, varied ways, and we'll do them with social enterprises. And so we're convening a group of people that we're calling the Rally Makers. And the Rally Makers are people who understand the value in attacking problems with social enterprise and want to do it together. And maybe they have some expertise, and we're going to connect new social enterprises with these Rally Makers through a pitch process that then the Rally Makers will mentor in 10 key areas. So there are self-evaluation tools out there that Credo will administer to selected social enterprises and find out where they're weak in those 10 key areas and create time-based mentorship opportunities for the Rally Makers to help the new social enterprises get up off the ground. So what I want you to see is that the reason Credo is doing this is because we think people will like their lives better when they're connected to meaning, impact, and community. And so through our Rally division, we want to connect people in Central Florida area to an opportunity to impact real problems collectively by mentoring new social enterprises. What these Rally Makers will do is they each make a tax-deductible gift into a fund that Downtown Credo manages, and then they get a vote on which social enterprise we partner, and we give unrestricted funds, so you can use it to build your capacity for a new social enterprise, which is unheard of money out there in the nonprofit and B Corp space. New unrestricted funds coming out of a fund that Downtown Credo manages, and mentorship to help start new social enterprises. Did I hit 6 minutes?
You're good.
Good. So that's Rally Makers. It's meaning, impact, and community through collective effort to mentor new social enterprises with funds and mentorship. Good?
Alan Schaefer, are you a nonprofit?
Yeah, Downtown Credo is a 501c3. Yep. And so all of our operations run underneath that right now.
And are you right now only based here
Yep.
in Central Florida?
Yeah, Downtown Credo is 4.5 years old, and the coffee shop is 3.5 years old that we have in College Park.
Can you give some examples of a traditional nonprofit versus, some of these social enterprises that are going to be B Corps and what the difference looks like?
Yeah. So a traditional nonprofit identifies a cause that they're going to work for, and then gets a nonprofit status from the IRS government based on their bylaws and federal IRS, and then they raise money to support their operations. A social enterprise finds ways to go to market and sell products, create earned income to help supplement their efforts. So the biggest example of social enterprise might be at Tom's Shoes, that exists to put shoes on kids that don't have them, and then the way that they do that is by selling shoes. We stumbled on this model with Downtown Credo because we wanted to connect people to a life of global impact. Reject your tendency towards apathy and believe you can make an impact. The way that we did that is by coffee, connecting people to direct trade coffee. Now they come and name their price for a cup of coffee, and we found that that generates an income that we operate off of.
Raise your hand, we'll bring a mic.
are you seeking now? Donated funds for your fund, or are you looking for rally makers?
Yeah, so for me, these rally makers are people who donate $5,000 a year. It's a tax deductible donation, and then they get to be part of the rally maker team. So they would sit in a room much like this. Downtown Credo would call an application of new social enterprises down to 5 or 6. Those 5 or 6 would pitch to the rally makers. Then each rally maker gets a vote on which organization is worth partnering and to what extent do we partner. We'll have a small and a large partnership. If we give these people $20,000 for this year of unrestricted funds and we mentor them in 10 key areas, they will blow up and be a huge success coming out of Orlando, so that's what we're going to do. These people, 20 grand wouldn't get them there, but 5 grand will help solve this problem, so we'll give them 5 grand. We'll have 2 options. And then they get to be the people that mentor the new social enterprises. So we're starting this fall with our first team of rally makers, and my goal is 10, and we've got 7 commitments now. So I've got a few more spots, and then in January we'll run again and bring on another team of 10 rally makers, and we'll just keep cycling like that through. So if there are rally makers in the audience, I'd love to talk to you. And then social enterprises will open up application process in August is when I'm going to start opening up an application process if you've got a social enterprise that you think the rally makers would help.
We have a question back here. In the back here.
Is the money that you're giving to these companies, is that a grant, or is it some sort of a loan or some sort of equity stake that you're taking in the company?
Right, so right now the concept is that if it's a nonprofit that we're helping, then it's a grant that we give to them. If it's formed as a B Corp, then we're looking at an equity stake in the company.
So Ben, a quick question. What are you looking for in your rally makers? Like any specific type of individual, or is it just open to anyone that has 5K to kind of invest in this?
Well, one of the things I found, thanks Ort, is that the folks who are interested in being rally makers understand the value and the power in entrepreneurship, specifically to tackle real problems. That's why they would be interested in this. So I haven't talked to anyone who's interested in being a rally maker who wouldn't be a good fit right now.
One right here.
Too many thoughts are coming to mind on this, but for some people, they might not know that the social enterprise is basically interested as much in the stockholders as the stakeholders. Now, with that idea, they're not really buying your coffee, they're buying your idea, correct?
That's right.
So you could have virtual downtown Credos everywhere tomorrow.
Yeah, so we do
Selling coffee and all the evidence.
Yeah, we have coffee sales through our website right now, which I'd love for you to all go order coffee off of our website, downtowncredo.com. Thanks.
More questions? Raise your hand.
All right, so the ask from us is what can we do as a community to help you? So you have already a few requests, but is there something very specific that we can do right now today and in the next few weeks as we continue past this presentation? What can we do to help you, Ben?
Yeah, it's funny. I have said a couple times already this morning, Downtown Credo has gotten better at doing things than talking about them. So right now, to find out what's next and when the application process opens, if you follow us on Facebook and Twitter, you'll be the first to find out that information. Maybe the only ones, because we're not great at telling folks. And then the second thing is, if a rally maker comes to mind, I'm really in the process of finding those. So I'd love to have meetings to talk through that with folks.
We have another question over here. Do we have time?
Yes.
Good morning. I'm sorry, I kind of walked in late, so I may have missed this, but what is your criteria for determining what qualifies as a social enterprise? Is there a set of things that somebody has to qualify for, or do you come up with them on your own? How does that work?
Yeah, my definition, the working definition for social enterprise for us is an organization that exists to solve a social, economic, or environmental problem and has an earned income stream in their business model. And right now, we'll be open to nonprofits and B Corps predominantly.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. If you want to get a quick refill, please, it makes our life easier in moving the coffee. Take 30 seconds, but no networking, come right back.
talking.
Hurry, hurry.
So right now we're actually yeah, let's switch it up. Like open the door and the guy was like, as Christ said, and I was like, oh, this is not 1 million bucks. I didn't know about it.
Right now. Recording it live.
Where is
All right. And so, thank you, by the way, guys, you're rocking social media, so this is awesome. So really, really appreciate it. But don't stop. Ben, I put in Rally Makers, which is wrong. What do you want them to tweet at? Downtown Credo?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, so at Downtown Credo would be the right Twitter handle, and I apologize, my mistake. And now, without any further ado, our next presenter, Ted, with Live Music Tutor.
Welcome to Live Music Tutor, the easiest and most convenient way to learn music from the comfort of your own home. Our proprietary online music coaching platform engages students, music enthusiasts, and fans with an exclusive experience. We provide live, real-time, interactive lessons for one student or for a group. You can learn all instruments and genres of music, along with voice lessons from trusted musicians worldwide 24/7. LiveMusicTutor.com has a custom, fully interactive, two-way video classroom loaded with features to help promote a fun, unique, and safe learning experience. Students have access to a wide selection of instructors who are qualified through Live Music Tutor. The live online class provides a fun, interactive learning experience in a safe environment. Not only that, all of your lessons are recorded for you, and we provide you with confidential access, so you can review, rehearse, or replay as many times as you want. Whether you are a student in the school orchestra or a retired adult who wants to pick up a new instrument, whether you are a beginner or an expert, we have the right solution for you. You can learn to play a song or two, or even explore our full course curriculum if you are interested in becoming a professional musician.
Hi, my name is Jason Goffner, career musician and co-founder of Live Music Tutor. Our motto is learn, share, play. Let me show you how easy it is to learn your instrument, share your musical talents, and play your favorite songs.
First, create an online profile with a few clicks. If you are an instructor, want to be a student, or just curious as a music enthusiast, you can join our community. We have built a social media component that allows everyone to participate with us. It is absolutely free and lets you explore everything we have to offer, and also connect with tutors and music lovers all around the world. Let me show you how. Go to www.livemusictutor.com. Click on Join Free and fill in the information. Remember, only instructors and students will have access to the classes. Congratulations, you are now part of the Live Music Tutor's unique music community. Now, are you ready to take a lesson? Remember, you will have to sign up for a lesson. It's easy. Click on Choose an Instrument. See all of the available tutors and their profiles. Click on the one you want to work with and schedule a lesson. That's it. Lessons are affordably priced and convenient. On the day of your lesson, get ready with a headset and webcam for your computer and you're all set. Enjoy your lesson and explore our website for more information and options. Like us on Facebook. Follow us at Live Music Tutor, the easiest way to learn music anytime, anywhere.
Good morning, my name is Ted G. I'm the president and co-founder of Live Music Tutor. My other co-founder, Jason Goffner, is actually in Brazil right now observing the World Cup. So he's getting a chance to have all the fun while I have to do the work. As you see, the opportunity
Welcome to Live Music.
All right, let's start again. So we're the world's first online music ecosystem. The market, the e-learning market, as you all are familiar, is huge. In 2013, it was $56 billion. By 2015, it's supposed to almost double to $120 billion. Music happens to be the smallest niche that we have in here. And if you look at the market, there's about 85 million people in the United States alone that have taken music lessons at one point in time of their lives. 30 million K through 12. There's about 640,000 music instructors in the United States alone. When you look at the opportunity that we have to really connect the United States with instructors and students all around the world, the market is huge. There are about 3 million people per month searching for guitar lessons alone on the internet. Our target market, we're dealing with kids K through 12, educators, youth, active adults, and also special needs. From a special needs perspective, a lot of special needs utilizes music for therapies. We actually have a partner already that we're working with a curriculum to be able to help kids with autism, Down syndrome, brain traumas, and other disabilities, and being able to connect all around the world. We have some very unique features. We have all instruments, including voice, all skill levels, all ages and genres. Hundreds of expert tutors. We have about 600 tutors as part of our community already. When we first did our first press releases about 2 years ago, we got about 15,000 instructors from all around the world that wanted to become part of our community. Obviously, we were not prepared to handle that because all of our instructors go through a very selective vetting process to include a background check to make sure that all of our users are safe. You can learn from home. The technology that we have is much more advanced than Skype, FaceTime, and a lot of technology in the marketplace today. The technology itself will provide a experience very close to your flat screen TV at home today. One of the key features that we have is the ability to record and rehearse all of our lessons. All of our lessons are recorded. So you can go back at any time and take a look at what you learned in that lesson. Obviously, we have a global reach. We have some very unique partnerships and relationships. We've already have about over 1,100 colleges and universities that we partner with what we're doing today with Live Music Tutor. We're part of the University of Central Florida's Accelerator program. That's a program specifically designed for small businesses that have very scalability. Gibson, we're working with quite a few instrument manufacturers, but Gibson is one of the first ones that we've been working with. NAMM, we're part of NAMM. We're part of this year's Grammys from an advertising perspective. SBI and Terry Inc. is the company we talked about with the kids with disabilities. Our revenue streams are fairly simple. Our primary revenue is the lessons that we are conducting. And these are one-on-one lessons. We have one-to-many. Our one-to-many is really the true virtual classroom. This is where we can have an instructor provide a lesson to multiple students in multiple locations simultaneously anywhere around the world with the quality of feed that you would have that's much more advanced than Skype and FaceTime today. Live, real-time, interactive education, just like an instructor would be in your home. Celebrity and expert classes are more broadband feeds, and this is not interactive, it's one way. Some additional ones, tutors prefer listing fees. So essentially what that means is our tutors, because of the volume and scale, they'll be able to, like a lot of the other sites, dating sites and so on and so forth, they'll be able to pay to have a preferred listing. Ad sales, music instrument, platform licensing, and our LT video. Some of the back to the community that we're dealing with is music education in schools through NAMM. We were in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago, actually lobbying for the reauthorization of the ESA Act, which is trying to make sure we maintain the arts, specifically music, in the schools today. We're working with Little Kids Rock as well, who really their focus is dealing with the 1.5 million kids across the country that don't have any access to music, number one. But they also deal with children that are part of schools that have been stripped of their music programs. So that's another solution and a different market that we're looking at, but we believe that this will help us together be able to address anybody who's interested in being able to play music. All of you know that there's a huge correlation between music, math, science, creativity, and those opportunities when you look at a well-rounded education. We have a very experienced management team. We talked a little bit about Jason. Jason is a lifelong musician, classically trained saxophonist. I've spent probably the last 30 years in business, leading some pretty major high-profile organizations. Harley-Davidson, I ran the sport division for Harley-Davidson. Ingersoll Rand and some other well-known companies. But primarily working with startups, turnaround, and change organizations. We have a very seasoned board that has entrepreneurial experience, leadership experience, as well as music, obviously. The leadership team is very seasoned as well. We've got over 100 years of leadership experience, but probably more importantly, I've got about 22 people that have helped to build Live Music Tutor from its inception a few years ago. All of these people have come from different backgrounds, different experiences, with a primary passion for not just music, but being able to provide music to people all around the world. So we have a tested concept. We're in a pre-existing marketplace that we're basically changing the delivery system to make it more affordable, more convenient, and safe. We have very unique features. Some of the features you've seen, we've got some safety features. We've got a a 24-hour video-on-demand library. We've got a point system built in that is very similar to gaming, so that this will be able to incentivize people to take music lessons, practice, rehearse, most importantly, build competencies for the passion that they desire. We have a very scalable business model, we have a proven team, and we believe it's right timing. One of Bono's key sayings, music can change the world because it can change people. This is how you can help. We're looking for everybody to spread the word. We're looking at a multi-tiered marketing strategy. Part of that strategy is being able to make aware through social media and other channels. We're looking for about 10 million people that we'd like to make aware that LMT exists within the next 12 months. So this is our handles on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So if you would, we appreciate everybody to create an account, whether you're an instructor, whether you're a student, whether you want to become an instructor, student, or whether you're a general music enthusiast.
And we need to start getting into the questions.
All right, this is it.
All right. Just raise your hands and we'll bring you a mic. Up.
Excuse me. So I had a music instructor who moved away, and then he said, well, we can still do lessons. I can do it virtually, and I was skeptical and just never pursued it because it was voice lessons, and I didn't know that the fidelity would be that good through the headset. What do you have in place to overcome the barriers of people that might be skeptical that this is just as effective as a live in-person lesson? Is it price? Is it like one lesson free, or do you have anything like that?
There's a couple of things that we've basically been focusing on from a marketing perspective, and we're open. In addition to be a virtual company, we're going to have a physical presence, right? So we'll be able to get to people, we'll be able to physically ask questions. Our pricing is set, and basically we did a lot of studies to make sure that the pricing was comfortable, basically. So we haven't done the one lesson free. That has been some things we talked about, but when you look at the scale and the volume, logistically it's going to be pretty tougher to do that, for us to do that. But we will entertain that. But one of the things we've done for the instructors primarily is that we have a full orientation to help them become familiar with the system. For the students, we have a similar system set up where you can learn about the system, learn how it works. We have questions and answers that can be asked. We have demonstrations, we have those, we've done a lot of things to help them. We also have a customer service team that will help students to become more comfortable with the system, make sure they know how to use it, those kinds of things. All right, did I answer your question?
We have a question right here.
Okay.
Yes, I have two questions really. First, what does it cost?
We have a 4-tier structure. For the true virtual classroom, we're arguably can put in about 5 to 8 people comfortably, depending on the instrument. $25 per hour lessons. The children, $25 per hour. All of our lessons are based on 1 hour, although we know that sometimes they will not be an hour in length. The beginner lessons are $35, the intermediate lessons are $45, and the expert lessons are $60. All of that's clearly defined on the site, so that we're upfront with everyone.
I see. And my other question is, how are you approaching the language issue? Obviously, the internet has a global reach. What if you have people who say, I'd love to take lessons, but I only speak German, I only speak Spanish, can you help me?
Outstanding question. Our site is in development to be presented in about 70 languages. We're in the final phases of development for that to be able to answer specifically those questions. Today, most of it is coming in English. Well, it's all in English, but it's going to depend on the instructors. So our instructors right now are from all around the world. We have people with all types of backgrounds, anywhere from Juilliard, Berkeley, to some local music schools, right? So we have a broad range of individuals that are speaking different languages today. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Question. So you had mentioned trying to get back to that. You mentioned trying to get 10 million people exposed to this over the next year.
Yes.
What are you looking to do from a marketing standpoint, and also what are you looking to do from a spend standpoint to achieve that?
Great questions. We have a four-tiered approach to our marketing. I mentioned social media. I also mentioned that we're going to have a physical presence, which will continue going because we've gone to some music-related events, some education events that are geared towards music that we participate in. We're looking at primarily events that are family-focused and family-oriented. Public relations, obviously the traditional media methods of getting to people. Gibson has been so graciously to work with us to be able to provide us with all of their venues across the country to run some introductory opportunities as well. So we're looking at those from a pure marketing perspective. We're also looking to build relationships. We have a strategy called the in-tune concept. The in-tune concept, especially for marketing experts in here, is really about brand communities. We think that with music, the opportunity not just to have a physical transaction or financial transaction occur is huge. So we want an emotional transaction. So we're building relationships with the top 50 instrument and accessory manufacturers, the 16,000 school districts across the country, local and national retailers, symphonies and orchestras, philanthropists. Those are another way that we're going to be able to get to the marketplace, not just from the transaction, but opportunities that would be mutually beneficial between them and us as an organization. Hopefully that answered that question.
Right here. All right, I have a question. The last slide had a line that said investor opportunities, I believe.
Yes.
So I wanted to hear some answers related to if there's potential for investment. So when are you looking for investors? And if you are, what kind of traction do you have in terms of, give us some idea of key performance indicators? So how many users have been registered? How many lessons are sold per month? And the video was really good. Looks like you spent a lot of money. How much money have you raised so far?
Well, thanks for the video. Matter of fact, this was the first time we've introduced this video. We've had another video that we've been running for the last 12, 18 months. From an investor perspective, we have a PPM that we just released to market. We've self-funded this business thus far. I've got a couple $1 million tied into this, and we're looking at an additional Series A round today. From a metrics perspective, we have probably more metrics about number of lessons, instructors, time on system, different issues, problems. We're loaded with metrics. So we have that we're prepared with for all of our investors.
To your right, there's a question.
We got one over here. Good morning. I think someone touched on this earlier, but I wanted a clear answer. It seems like from the website, the technology to communicate with the students depends on a webcam and a microphone. Now, how do you ensure that the user's technology has enough fidelity to where the instructor listening can give feedback without worrying that, well, maybe that's not really them singing, maybe that's the mic that's messing up, or how do you ensure that the technology is responsive to what the human ear could hear if you were in person?
Great question. We have some technology tools built in that actually measures the quality of the bandwidth, the latency, sound, those kind of components. Actually, as you sign up for the lesson, you'll go through that so you can test your equipment. We also have a list of recommended equipment that you have that will optimize your experience. There's another question everybody asks, mobile capabilities, right? We delayed the mobile capabilities because we did not want, initially, people to try to take lessons on their cell phones, right? Which would have impacted the experience. But we are in development with some additional technologies for the mobile capability because people would like to be able to schedule lessons, communicate. We have a social media component built into this. We have our own social media component so that the instructors and students, number one, can share information with their families and friends which we believe is a great tool for us and them. So we are expanding to include some additional mobile capabilities.
There's a question right here.
Ted, part of your positioning speaks to the partnership and the ecosystem. And you mentioned that you had partnerships with the universities, with a lot of universities. Can you elaborate on the nature of that relationship with them and what you're giving to them and what they're expecting from you?
I don't want to do that right now, but what I can tell you is that we have partnered with the universities not only to get some of their students to participate in the platform as provided through the university, but there's some other opportunities we're working with. And the reason why is because we don't want to kind of get into the T's and C's of that.
We have another question back here.
My question would be, have you thought about with programs like Voice and American Idol, and now there's a new one where the fans actually get to interact and tell the person singing or whatnot if they're really good. Have you thought about possibly doing something like that for the marketing end? Because I've seen online orchestras as well, so people will compose tracks in different countries and places, all send one conductor the video, and then this conductor will have 1 million people singing his lyrics, his song, his orchestra piece, and have people playing from across the country. So in regards to marketing, is that something you guys have thought about doing to kind of push this 10 million people to be active on your platform?
Very good question. We have not. We've had two companies, one in Ohio and one in Texas, that have approached us that their focus is to support major scale shows like American Idol does. Our focus is really the music education, all right? And even as people talk about the technology, our technology is a delivery system, but our focus is really the quality of education that we're going to be able to provide that will allow people that don't have music education opportunities today to participate, all right? So we've got an approach with all kinds of opportunities, but our focus has to be the quality of education that we're going to provide to our users.
Right here, there's a question.
Okay. Real quick, my family's going to be very excited to hear about it. There's a bunch of musicians. The bottom line is that this, though, is a delivery system.
Yes.
Hence, strategic alliances with somebody in the arts. And it's going to take the same responsibility to bring the same quality of deliverables. Or the auto industry, they're going to do home training of mechanics because there's a shortage. Whatever it is, I see it as there's the big plays. And so I'm just curious how you reverse engineer this and what you're seeing as the future with the software.
Very good question. Here we go. We know the way that we've built this system, this platform, is transferable to other verticals, all right? And some verticals, for instance, that people have already started talking about. So instead of just live music tutor, live fitness tutor. So all the DVDs that we have sitting in our homes that we don't use, right? Now we can have a fitness instructor in our living room early in the morning with a one-on-one lesson motivating us to try harder. Cooking. Instead of languages. So now instead of some systems that you have on the market today, you can have a live, real-time, interactive language lesson from someone in their native country, speaking different dialects, all right? Traditional educational courses, mechanics. We talked to somebody that had a global aircraft company that was already approaching us doing this. We can't get too far, too fast. It's capable, but our focus has to be music education first. Very good question. I'm glad you've seen that because I think that we're getting a lot of calls. Thank you.
On your right side here.
I might have missed it, but what's your revenue, or how much revenue have you generated so far, and then also your strategy with your competitors? You've got some pretty good competitors, Google Help Out and Live Ninja.
Very good questions. Our revenues have just begun. All right, we're not going to publicize that, but we've got about 600 instructors, we've delivered over 300 lessons to date, and we're really just looking at launching the mass campaign. The last year, we've had to focus on ensuring that we had instructors through the system, understanding the system, going through the background checks, all of those components first, so that as we start this mass marketing campaign, as students come, we wanted them to have a viable selection process. So now it's time to really start generating revenues. Competitors, very good question. There are people out there delivering lessons, primarily through Skype, FaceTime, you have your Google Hangouts and those things. They're not structured with the system approach that we have today from a total system. So we know that there's going to be competitors down the road, hence is part of the reason why we built some of the complexities in the model. The big thing is, when you look at the marketplace, there's probably going to be almost 200 million people off the blush in just some of our data that have taken music lessons, not just in the United States, but abroad. There's going to be competitors. There's people out there today, there's about 30 competitors that have set up bulletin boards, all right? And what they're doing is basically just trying to connect instructors and students, all right? And one of the things that we have taken a lot of time with is children. So we're COP compliant, we put some fail-safe systems on our platform that will cater to the safety of children in case things happen. So as these places pop up, which it's going to happen, right? The question is going to be the quality of the system that they're going to provide and the educational quality they're going to be able to support. Hopefully that answered that question.
Okay. There's one last question right there in the middle.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
There you go. All right.
So I was thinking you're connecting students with teachers, and you're going through all the work to ensure that they're safe and all of the background checks and all. What measures, or is there a concern that at some point teacher-student relationship can develop, and then outside of your platform they can maybe solicit their services and kind of cut out the middleman, being that there is this technology with the Skype and PayPal or whatever to transact outside? Is that a concern for you? And then what measures would you take to kind of avoid that happening?
Outstanding question. A couple things. Number one, we're paying instructors 80% of our teaching revenues. The important part to that question is all of our instructors have to go through not just a background check, but it's a very stringent vetting process, especially depending on the skill levels they're going to be teaching. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, or expert, right? The advanced and expert people go through an additional vetting process than just the beginner and intermediate. All of the instructors have to go through orientation, which includes a code of conduct. Code of conduct is really the component that talks about not taking any personal information from students. The students are on the side to be encouraged the same thing. So no personal information of the students. They have a requirement for dress. Of course, they have to be dressed. Making sure that, and you have some sites out there. We have competitors, right, that are pure rockers. All right, so I don't know. I mean, when you have kids in that environment, making sure they're not inebriated. So there are some things that we've taken the precaution or liberty to do to try to make sure this experience is going to be as valuable as it can. All of our courses are recorded. All right. So because they're recorded, we also will be doing random checks into the classrooms to make sure that the instructors are delivering what they're supposed to do from a curriculum, but also style. All of our instructors will be getting evaluated, all right? So there'll be 360s that the students will be able to perform, right? So we've done a lot of things that we believe will help with that. If there's something that occurs, we have a safety feature on the system that and matter of fact, it's not just going to be the students, it could be the instructors that have done something. But this safety feature will allow the system to be cut, or the feed to be cut. A notification will trigger to us. Once that's triggered, we can review this information. If it's inappropriate behavior, we can turn it over to the authorities immediately and let them handle that. So we have to take a lot of precautions to try to make this a very safe environment.
Well, we're at the end of the hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The ask again, there's 10 million users. On social media. So again, the event is not over. We're still here, and you have plenty of time to continue and chat with the presenters and learn more and find out ways that you can help them. Before we close this event, I do want to give a shout out to my friend Orette Davis with Orlando Tech. Orette, know who you are. If you guys want to know more about Orlando Tech, you've read about them in the paper, you've seen them on TV. There's a future movie coming out soon. So go talk to Orette. There's a really cool event coming up in September, early October that you want to be a part of. So talk to him and find out more about the Tech Pulse in this city.
Tech meetup tomorrow night, right? Yes.
Right.
Tech meetup tomorrow night. So talk to Orette. He'll tell you where, what time, or you can just check it out online on Meetup. So this is the end again of another event. Thank you to you guys for being here. We have an ask. We have multiple asks actually. So the first ask is continue to tweet about this. Tell your friends, bring friends, tell companies that you know to come ahead, to go ahead and join us and apply to present. We are booked for June. We're starting to fill up for July, and so this is a great thing. We never thought we'd be here and with so many of you. In about, again, the next few weeks, you have to sign up, follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, so that way you'll know where we're going to be, and that way you're not running around campus. And see you next week. Thank you.
Yes, I did. Yes, I retweeted this.